What if I told you that your addiction is not a weakness, but a message? Not a curse, not a failure, but a signal from the depths of your unconscious. Carl Jung once wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." So what if that craving you fight, that loop you can't break, is not your enemy, but your shadow calling out to be heard? This is the beginning of your escape. Most people think addiction is about the substance, the alcohol, the cigarette, the screen. But Jung never saw it that way. To him, addiction was never the disease. It was the symptom, the surface crack on a deeper, buried wound. He believed that what we're addicted to is not pleasure, but numbing. We don't crave dopamine. We crave silence from the screaming voices within. The pain we buried, the trauma we dismissed, the emptiness we never dared to face. The drink is just the escape hatch. The real prison is inside. Jung introduced a concept that changed everything. The shadow. The parts of ourselves we repress. The anger, the shame, the grief. The sides of us we fear. And here's the terrifying truth. What you repress doesn't disappear. It waits. It festers. It leaks into your choices, your cravings, your patterns. Every time you run to that addiction, you're not just escaping reality. You're escaping a part of yourself. And until you face that part, no amount of rehab, therapy, or motivation will save you. Because the enemy is not the bottle. The enemy is the part of you you're too afraid to look at. Have you ever wondered why you always relapse when things get good? Why sabotage comes after success? Why calmness feels unsafe? Why you reach for destruction the moment peace appears? It's because your unconscious doesn't trust peace. It associates calm with vulnerability. It remembers that pain came when your guard was down, so it pulls you back into chaos, into craving, into the loop. Not because you're weak, but because you've programmed your nervous system to survive in pain. This is not a moral failure. It's a psychological pattern, and you can rewire it. But first, you have to listen. Here's what Jung would ask you. What is your addiction trying to say? Not what it's trying to destroy, but what it's trying to protect. Every addictive urge is a messenger. Behind every craving is a need. Behind every repetition is a wound that was never acknowledged. Maybe the drink is saying, "I can't handle this emotion." Maybe the cigarette is saying, "I'm lonely." Maybe the screen is saying, "I don't know who I am without distraction." When you stop fighting the craving and start understanding it, you begin to reclaim your power. Because power isn't in suppression, power is in integration. Jung saw healing not as becoming someone new, but becoming whole. He called it individuation. The process of bringing all the fractured parts of your psyche back into one, not by denying your shadow, but by welcoming it. You do not heal by destroying your addiction. You heal by understanding why it was there in the first place. You don't escape the darkness by running. You escape it by turning around, looking it in the eye, and saying, "I see you, I hear you, and I'm ready to carry you with me, not against me." That is the real victory. Strength isn't about control, it's about awareness. The addict who understands the message behind their craving is stronger than the disciplined man who never asks why. You don't need to win against your addiction. You need to stop pretending it's a war. It's not a war, it's a conversation with your soul. And the more you listen, the less you need the escape, because suddenly the pain becomes purpose, the craving becomes clarity, and the darkness becomes your guide. You'll never let addiction win again after this. Not because you became perfect, but because you became whole. Carl Jung taught us that we are not meant to be saints. We are meant to be integrated. Dark and light, chaos and order, weakness and strength, held together by awareness. And when you bring the unconscious to light, nothing can control you again. You are free. If this resonated with something inside you, if a voice within whispered, "This is me," you're not alone. Subscribe to A Voice in the Darkness, where we walk together through shadow, silence, and self-discovery.